Washington, got to celebrate the GNAC championship on your home field. Just what was that experience like for you, having such a significant victory at home for homecoming?
Oh, it's phenomenal for as a head coach and our coaching staff to have all their families there, and for the players to have their families there, and obviously the Zoo Nation's there celebrating with you. Homecoming, it was really storybook to be able to celebrate that and to have the type of ending and get that trophy hoisted up there in front of everybody. It was great, and hats off to just the players for just playing. I thought just was one of their best complete games, and so program's moving forward, and we're excited for the next step and getting back after this week.
And then touching on that, we briefly talked about it before the game, but this run that you've had over the last 4 years started homecoming Central Washington. A little bit of a coincidence there, but I think according to the notes, there's 6 programs, and you're one of them that over that long of a time, over 46 games now, have been able to win as consistently as you have. What does that say about your program, and where do you continue to build from here?
Well, it's a great stat, and thanks for bringing that up. It shows that the program's healthy. It shows that for those recruits that are looking for find a place that can consistently teach them, hey, what is the process of winning? I think that's where you want to choose. You want to really investigate that school. There is. For us, we talk about, hey, we don't exist in winning and losing. It's we try to get our attitude, that constant growth mindset. And today brings up a day that its own unique set of challenges. Is that, hey, how do you go back to work after a success? And so I think that's, if anybody were to investigate our program and look at deep what's going on, they see that, hey, there's a process happening here. And if we can continue about the process of winning, continue to get our attitudes right, continue that growth mindset that we constantly are talking about, that's where you're going to find that not only there could be a consistency of winning, but most of the consistency of success for these young men when they graduate college. And because that's really the big thing. We don't want to miss this moment. We want to win every game possible, but we particularly want to win in life. And there's a brand here to treating people right, calling out a higher standard in our players, working to a higher standard every day. Also knowing is that, hey, when you come out on the short end of the stick, look at it well, review the tape of your own life, own it, and move on and get better, keep growing, and that's what we're trying to do.
Talk about Weston Carr and not only the type of game he had, but just what you liked about him when you recruited him, and how he's developed, and what basically 1 year.
Well, what you find in Weston is he's got a great structure and height. I mean, when you're talking about a receiver, we knew going into before our last recruiting, he would be before bringing in the 2015 class beyond. And when Terrell left, you're looking at we realized that we need to expand the offense. We need to make sure that while we are very committed to the running game, we need to have a passing game that can pick up the slack and attack people when they're trying to crowd the box. So guys like Weston, guys like Brandon Jackson, guys like Darrell Adams, guys, across the board, you see this younger receiving core coming in. We want to identify, we need to find guys on the outside that can continue to open things up. And now you've got the veterans of Ethan Zeidler and Tanner Henry, Gage Allen, who are able to get in there and really give us the advantage when you want to crowd the box. We're committed to the run, no doubt. And we want to be physical in the offensive line, there's no doubt. But when you're talking about the age of college football where you're at right now, if you can't have a playmaker on the outside, and not just one, but 2 to 3, then you're gonna get boxed in at some point. And right now, what I like about our offense is that we have the passing game options. Weston Carr is a guy who you see now. He's able to win his one-on-one battles and do his job when he's being called upon. And the kid's amazing. I love being around him as a person, and he's a guy who I think exemplifies what we're talking about every single day when we're talking about winning today. He's a guy who's going to get after it in the classroom. He's a guy who's going to have the right attitude in the locker room, in the film room, and I know he knows that he's trying. His best game is yet to come. So we're excited for that.
Is this your best team, you think? I mean, just on the surface, the way you're playing defense. I mean, you have 21 interceptions, which ranks near the top nationally. The way you're scoring, like you said, the passing game, the running game is pretty good.
Every team has its own identity, and I'd say for this team, what I do like is all 3 phases. You're seeing guys really begin to excel. Guys who are it's not just one guy. I'll reference Terrell Watson again, and I mean that was a guy we really relied heavily on him, but he was surrounded with people who were doing a job to help make it successful. What I like this is that the storyline keeps changing every single week. Is that there's another guy willing to step up, make the plays when needs to make plays. We're very big about team football, and team football is the ultimate team sport. It's not, nothing against any other sports, but one guy can't take over the show like a Michael Jordan can. Football is going to demand that you play a team brand to be successful, and so with us there, this team coming up, I think we have guys that are willing to step up when it's needed, and to that I would say, yeah, you've got a great football team this year, and I think our best football is still yet to come, and we're going to work really hard this week to take a big step forward, which you got to, and that's just life. You can't just end up saying, hey, I'm going to rest on what happened on Saturday night. We got to get up again and get better, and there's a lot to improve on.
Yeah, talk about this week's opponent and what you have to. I mean, you still got to convince the committee that you're worthy of a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's playoff football now, and I think having the league title now, the trophy's in the case. That's great, and we're excited about that. It's the goals. It's the next rung in the ladder that we have to climb now. For now going forward, we know that Western Oregon is an outstanding opponent. Philip, their quarterback, is playing great football. He's a dangerous runner, and this guy's a competitor. So we're going to have to make sure we game plan for him on not only his arms, because Paul Revis, the receiver, is one of the most dangerous receivers in this league, dangerous return man. But with Phillips, you got to work with his legs too. You got to make sure you got to hem him in. So and their offense, they're coming off a bye week. Their offense is going to have their time to begin to put new packages in. Their offensive coordinator, he's a guy who's very creative, and he's going to try to find things that he feels that they can exploit. So I like it because it brings. This is why we play college football. There's always that chess match. There's always that challenge. Defensively, I think they want to have one of the best D lines in the country. And I mean, it's just they're physical. They're big. It's always something where you got to get after it with them, because they're going to bring in their A game, and they're very well coached. So Arden does a great job at Western Oregon, and so we know we got a formidable opponent, and which brings us to just the joy and the blessing of college football. We get a game this week, and we get to prepare this week. So all those things we're fired up just to be able to be a part of this whole process and be a part of another Saturday in college football.
This Saturday, kind of unique, last home game for a handful of guys.
Yeah.
Military appreciation as well. Another opportunity. Does this opportunity feel that's a little bit extra because it's the last regular season home game as well?
This week it brings up one of the most exciting and emotional weeks too, because one, you get to say our seniors take their final senior walk, and their families get to come alongside, and their families and their loved ones have done a lot to support these young men along their journey of college football. And the players sacrifice a ton to be here and to continue this journey. College football is no joke. It demands a lot of your time, resources, and your focus. But to honor the seniors with their senior walk and their families, it's going to be great. But I'm also thoroughly excited about just the Heroes Day and just the game. And we're going to appreciate the military, appreciate the local civil servants that we have in the area, policemen, firemen. It's a game of just honoring commitment and sacrifice. Being someone who's grown up, my dad was a Marine Corps officer, and I grew up living on military bases. On the background, just the sacrifices that these men and women give, but also the families that give to them. So it's a day to be able to honor that. Life is good when we sacrifice and give more to each other, and our freedoms today, we don't take them for granted because there was a cost to it. So on that, dude, just the everyday civil service that firemen, policemen give. I mean, we're very appreciative of all that. But this is going to be a great night, and it's a time. Come on out. I mean, get your tickets now, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think our game is one of the best games in town, all Southern California, where you're going to have a blast. The Zoo Nation is rowdier than ever, and we're looking forward to a great one.
Coach, looking back, the road game against Colorado Mines, you guys have learned a lot. It's been fun to see your team grow week to week, but especially after a loss. I mean, the last 3 weeks, the way your team's played, outscoring your opponents 146-20. What have you seen in terms of growth from your team since that game?
Yeah, I think it's a lesson. It's a lesson to understand how much you have to have that growth mindset, how much you have to take one day at a time. For our players, they owned it. They saw the film. They were able to say, okay, here's our chance. Here's our great opportunity. Get better. And they saw that. And it helped them shed some of the immaturity I think we see a lot of today, where everybody wants to, philosophize about, hey, why did this happen, all that. Our guys didn't do that. Our guys said, no, go to work. You're trained or untrained. And that road experience gave us a chance to see ourselves a little more clearly and see ourselves in the mirror, for these guys to own it. It was a great opportunity. And so we took the opportunity, and we're getting better. And sometimes in a win, the immaturity of a human being, you think, oh, everything's great. Even after coming off this last game Saturday, where, hey, it's a high emotional win, we played a very good game. Some would say, man, one of the most thorough, complete games you've ever played. I say this is that, we watched the tape, we got better. How do we get better now? What do we do this next week? And so, your opponent's going to analyze everything they can find. And so, we're going to be the first ones to analyze ourselves and say, let's just make ourselves better. And that hungry and humble attitude, and I think that's what I'm very proud of with these players, to say, let's attack this thing. And that's they're going to go far in life with that attitude and that mindset.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you very much.